and not necessarily a message for the day. And what I found as I approached, thank you so much, the lesson for today, is that I was getting increasingly terrified as the moment approached. And I was terrified because that human aspect of me, that part that recognizes separation and division, that feels disconnected, that actually believes that I am somebody. I can't believe I went there. He knows he's woefully inadequate to do what's required, to stand in the fire. And so, every time I stand here, I have to allow myself to be completely vulnerable and let the fire burn. I like doing it, quite frankly. It's fun. But I haven't done it in a while. So some anxiety has been creeping up. So here's the thing about it. You can tell when you're tripping because stuff around you stops working. And so I've just had all these comedy of errors happening with it. Man, I fried my computer. You know, when I left here Sunday, I put my computer in a bag and there was a bottle of water in the bag.
Oh no.
Well, I guess everybody knows what happened. So I'm the only one who didn't know not to do that. So what's wrong with you, man? You don't put your computer in a bag with water. Well, no, I know that. So it got wiped out, everything gone. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And I'm having challenges, and I realize it's not just about this. It's this whole, I don't pay attention to the news. I do catch headlines from time to time just so I can stay up. But basically, I'm working on being centered in the reality of oneness. And the more I listen to the news and listen to the different stories about what's going on, the more I believe they're true. And the more I believe they're true, the easier it is for me to manifest that truth in my life as a reality. And since I'm not looking to manifest that truth in my life as a reality, I just don't spend a lot of time watching. Now, some people might say that I got my head in the sand and I'm practicing some kind of spiritual bypass, just pretending like everything is okay. I'm not pretending that everything is okay. Everything's not okay. Because okay is predicated on the idea that some things are good and some things are bad, and if it's good, it's okay, and if it's not good, it's not okay. So I'm not talking about everything is okay, everything's not going to be okay. Are we on the same page?
Yes. Preach it.
So I'm standing in the fire of my fear. And I'm standing in the fire of my fear because I'm having to get in touch with my own mortality in ways that I've never had to be in touch with my mortality before, because, you know, the universe just won't let me dodge this anymore. I guess once I turn 70, like the clock, ding! You're going to deal with this now, son. You're going to deal with this today. My niece, my beloved niece, Jasmine, is here today. Her services for her father are next week. I'm like, what the heck is going on? It's been one thing after another, one person after another. It's like everybody's doing the exit stage left on me, you know? And I'm looking this way. What is going on? I know it gets busy this time of year. But I'm being overwhelmed with death. I remember when I first started here, there was a woman named, I think her name was Mary. She used to sweep up the front, and I could see her time coming. And the last week she was here, she was walking on and she was hugging everyone. And I could see that she was hugging them, perhaps for the very last time. And we were, I won't say we weren't close, but I didn't know her as well as other people did. And, you know, that's good enough. And as she was leaving, I said, Mary, are you going to leave without saying goodbye to me? And she turned. And she looked at me like, how did you know that? Like, how did you know that I was, not that she was planning on doing it, but she could hear it in my voice, that I knew. There's an old song we used to sing, I think, in the Baptist church. I might have mentioned it last time when my mom was here. It's a crazy song because it's got a foreboding to it. It goes like this. And I think it's something we have to practice, because today we're talking about making friends with Dad. This may be the last time. This may be the last time. This may be the last time. It may be the last time. I don't know. This may. Can you sing that?
This
be the last
time. This may be the last time, Spirit.
This may be the last time. It may be the last time. I don't know. People would sing different psalms or verses and add to that verse. Everybody could make their own little, this might be the last time verse, and we all join in on that. And it's a reminder that it could happen anytime. Now, when you come from a traditional Christian background, that is, well, you know, you can see Jesus any moment, you know, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because that's what you're living for. But it could be the last time I see y'all. So the fear is not so much that you're going to die, but it's like, you know, whatever business we have to take care of, we need to handle this. And that's the thing about it, you know, because oftentimes we get to the end and we feel unfulfilled. And we feel unfulfilled because of what we haven't said and what we haven't done. The regret is not really for the things we have done that are wrong, the things we have done that are what. It's usually about, I always wanted to do this. I wish I would have told so-and-so that. When I last saw my dad, we had a difficult conversation. I figured I'd work it out with him. But he died on his birthday and I hadn't spoken to him yet. And I was left in a situation where the relationship felt incomplete. And I realized that the doorway, the veil between living and dying would never be the same again. Because I wasn't content to not see my daddy again. So there was something inside me, curious enough. I stopped talking about him as my father. And I was a little boy talking about my daddy again because there was an innocence in the relationship before I lost my mind. That was the truth about myself. And his exit propelled me back to that state of being where I was able to embrace the idea that I love this person. In spite of himself, in spite of myself, I still love him. And I'm not willing for this to be over today. And so I opened the door to have him in my life. I made friends with death that day. I'm taking my text, or what I'm saying today, from a sermon I heard from Reverend Maya Masser. I'm going to be reading extensively.
That's all right.
You know, Dizzy Gillespie, they talked about how different musicians sound like different musicians, how you can borrow different people's style. And Dizzy said, yeah, a good musician will borrow, but a great musician will steal. So I'm stealing this. She put it out there to be, okay, making a mess. This is called learning from trees. If we could, like the trees, practice dying, do it every year just as something we do like going on vacation or celebrating birthdays, it would become as easy a part of us as our hair or clothing. Someone would show us how to lie down and fade away as if in deepest meditation, and we would learn about the dark, about the fine, dark emptiness, both knowing it and not knowing it. And coming back would be irrelevant. I'm going to have to ask for your assistance once again. I tell you, I'm really nervous. The systems are breaking down around me. I spilled water up here, and what's going to happen is everything's gonna turn to mush, so I do need a paper towel, please.
Here, I have a couple of tissues.
Okay, I'll use those since they're convenient. Thank you very much. Okay. Are we on the same page so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Whatever is in the trees, whatever it is, the trees know when they stand undone. Surprisingly intricate, we need to know also, so we can allow that last thing to happen to us as if it were only an ordinary thing. Leaves and lives falling away, the spirit complex, waiting in the fine darkness to learn which way it'll go. Thank you. In case I need these for later. Oh man. Memento Mori. Could befriending death change the world? I'm going to talk to you today about death, and I hope I will do so gently. It is not quite Halloween yet, it's just after Halloween now. In spite of my seasonal attire, but we are most certainly in a time of the year when, as some of my pagan friends say, the veil between the worlds grows thinner.